We Europeans consume a lot. We buy many electronic devices, and when they break, we often just tend to replace them.
Do you often buy, for example, a smartphone?
Yeah, every couple of years. Mine break quickly. They don't last.
It's like it has an expiry date. I think it's a big scam, actually.
Buying new ones instead of repairing them costs billions of euros a year.
My back was glass and it just felt like this and broke. I think they want you to keep buying them.
Got to throw away all your charging cords, all your earbuds, and buy new ones.
So how can we manufacture and consume differently so that sustainable, repairable and recyclable products become the norm? That's what we'll be looking at in this episode.
On est à Amsterdam, c'est un petit peu le paradis de la seconde main. C'est aussi ici qu'a été créé le concept de Repair Café. On va vous montrer, on a rendez-vous avec sa fondatrice.
There are now thousands of repair cafes around the world. The principle is simple.
I'm checking if they can repair it.
Thinking maybe it's a short in the cable.
It's beeping, which means there's no resistance.
I bought an expensive one. The guarantee was for 2 years, and it's just 2 months more than 2 years.
Former journalist Martine Posma created this concept in Amsterdam in 2009.
For me, it was a tryout. I wanted to check if something like this could work, and it did.
Yeah, the issue right now is to open it. A regular screwdriver like this cannot work. That's very, very frustrating. There's a law in Europe that says right to repair. They have to pass that law.
This set of rules is about to come into force, aiming to combat throwaway culture by making repairs easier and cheaper even after the warranty is expired.
We've become accustomed to the fact that things are cheap and that getting a new one is in many cases cheaper than going to a professional repairer. We need to turn that around because there are not enough resources in the world for us to keep this behavior up.
It's fine. I'm happy.
To move in this direction, the European Union has another major project, the Eco-Design for Sustainable Products Regulation. It consists of harmonising the requirements to make products sold in the EU easier to repair, recycle or reuse, and it's almost all about design.
Alors pourquoi vos produits se cassent? Ici on décortique les produits d'aujourd'hui pour imaginer ceux de demain. On va voir ça.
Professor Bas Flipson studies our everyday devices.
Yes. So this is our lab. We assess the ease of disassembly and then we assess it also on recyclabilities.
It also studies obsolescence and consumer attitudes.
What will fail of the electric toothbrush is the battery, for instance, over here. You have to unglue it and you have to take it apart. Well, there's also other stuff, it's getting dirty. The plastics will degrade, the rubber will degrade, but also the plastic parts will fade out, it will become yellow.
And what happens?
Well, people throw it in a bin. And that's, it's understandable, but you can also change this. So by making, for instance, the battery more accessible or keep it aesthetically appealing for a longer time.
These tweaks would mean potential extra costs for the producer, but savings for the consumer. That's where a few rules have to make a difference.
We have to change our ways of designing stuff, but also our ways of selling stuff. And with the right to repair, but also with the rules and the regulation which will come up in 2024, I think that's a huge step towards a more sustainable future.
But can an electronic device really be more sustainable? Back in Amsterdam, we visit a startup that's taking on the challenge.
Is it where we make fair smartphones?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Here's the latest Fairphone 5, which can be taken apart with a simple screwdriver. The flat design makes it easy to change parts instead of throwing the phone away.
Can we say it's revolutionary?
I'll be controversial and say it's not. The principle of durability, I would say, is the oldest engineering principle. You build things to last. Anything that has a printed circuit board, that costs a lot of energy to make. So once you've made it, you have to make sure that that is in use as long as possible. That's difficult with partners all over the world that still think a little bit too linear. That's our business, I would say. We are in the business of changing the industry. And we do business because business is a very powerful tool to shape the economy and also to influence the demand, convince consumers about what is possible and what should be out there.
Empowering consumers is the aim of another European directive, which is set to provide more information on the sustainability of products and combat greenwashing. So how can we be better informed about what we buy? To find out, we head to Luxembourg.
Si on est au Luxembourg aujourd'hui, ce n'est pas que pour le marché de Noël. Le pays a lancé son propre projet de passeport produit. On va voir ça.
It's not so much a product passport, but the information system that feeds it. That's according to the man behind this initiative called the Product Circularity Data Sheet.
Le Luxembourg s'efforce à mettre en place une méthodologie pour faciliter la transmission d'informations sur les propriétés circulaires des produits à travers toute la chaîne de valeur pour qu'elles se retrouvent disponibles avec les produits quand ils sont mis sur le marché.
So digital data will track materials, but the problem is that they can come from far and wide. This is why a new ISO standard is set to guarantee transparency throughout the chain, right up to the shops.
Quel type d'informations est-ce qu'on pourrait avoir sur ce produit, par exemple?
On pourrait avoir des informations sur la composition, s'il contient des matériaux dangereux, s'il existe des pièces de rechange, quel est le contenu de matières recyclées, et s'assurer aussi que cette information perdure dans le temps, parce qu'après, on voudra le réparer, le reconditionner ou faire autre chose, mais ça peut arriver 5-10 ans plus tard.
The project echoes one of the major ambitions of the European ESPR regulation, the Digital Product Passport, which should become the norm in Europe. The data from the Luxembourg initiative could be fed directly into this passport, the cornerstone of the future common market.
Si on a 27 réglementations différentes, si on a 27 applications différentes, c'est très difficile d'avoir une circularité au sein du marché intérieur. C'est pour ça que l'ESPR est tellement important pour avoir des échanges plus faciles entre les différentes sociétés qui travaillent dans les questions de circularité à travers l'Europe.
Et on va finir cet épisode, comme on l'a commencé, par quelques coups de tournevis.
The proof is in the pudding. There will always be friendly repairers near you.
Sur la route d'un monde plus réparable.
Oui, puisqu'il y aura de toute façon d'autres repair cafés.